Thank you. So, Janji is this company that we apparel design. Anyway, I started Janji with Dave Spandorf over there in college. We were both college teammates at WashU in St. Louis, and it was an idea we came up with my sophomore year, his junior year. We just thought it would be a cool idea, so we started planning it. We recruited some of our friends who were more talented than us to help design it and put the clothes together, and you know, we were kind of moving along. We didn't actually know how to do any of this stuff, but you know, we kind of had an idea, and we were figuring it out. And at one point, you know, we knew that you sell running clothes at running stores, so we went to the local running store in St. Louis called Big River Running, and we were kind of friendly with those guys because St. Louis is kind of a small running community, and so everyone kind of knows each other. So we would always, that's where we bought our shoes. We knew the dudes, they were nice. So we went over there and we told them about our idea, and they were super cool guys. We showed them kind of our preliminary designs, and they were just, we literally did those designs in like Google Paint. Like, it was just really crude sketches. And they were like, yeah, that's cool, man. Like, we'll carry it, we'll try it. So we're like, great, like we haven't even started yet. We already have a store carrying us. So we're off to a good start. Like, how do we continue that and get more of these places that carry our stuff and give us money for the products? And we asked them. They were really good mentors for us, and they told us about this trade show in Austin, Texas called the Running Event, where literally like every brand has a booth in running stores like Marathon Sports or Heartbreak Hill Running Company, or stores like that all over the country go to like see the new products from those brands, which is perfect because we could go and we could see every store in one place, and we could, you know, sell Janji stuff. It seemed like a no-brainer. So we looked it up, and it was kind of at the end of the semester. I was still a senior, and it was during reading week. At school, we had this week where you could study before finals, and there was no class, and it was after cross-country season ended. So it was perfect. So it was kind of expensive, but we figured it was a good investment for the company, and we went for it. We signed up. And it was kind of, we just figured, it seemed like a long way away. We figured we'd get everything ready before that happened. And then time passed, seasons changed, cross-country season ended. It was kind of a crazy time. Like, I was still a student, and I had to write a thesis to graduate, and it was due at the end of reading week. And I'm always kind of do everything at the last minute. So I had a lot of my thesis yet to write. It was supposed to be like around 80 pages, and I had done like 50 pages, so I was getting there. And basically, to do well at the trade show, you kind of have to do three things. So I had the thesis to worry about, but then I also had this stuff for Janji. You kind of have to have catalogs, and you need to have products, and you need to have a booth. So we designed a catalog, and we were kind of last minute with it, so we had to get it shipped directly to our friend's house. We're staying with our friend's parents in their guest house, which is pretty cool. So we got that one figured out. And the product, we had gotten connected with this factory, but they were taking really long doing our samples. They weren't ready in time, so we were scrambling. We were pretty desperate. So we went to Walmart, and they sell everything at Walmart. And so we got some fabric at Walmart that seemed pretty close to the kind of fabric we wanted to use. And we found this guy named George Ting in New York who makes samples. And we got the fabric, but it was the wrong color. We needed it red and blue, and it was white. And so we bought fabric dye, and our designer, David Ham, dyed it in his bathtub and literally like scrubbed it with his hands until the fabric took in the dye, because it was meant for cotton. We had polyester fabric, but it got in there, and his hands were literally blue for like 2 weeks after that. And the catalogs arrived, and we had this booth that we had to make. David Ham, our designer, was an architect, so he helped design something that looked really cool, but Dave and I don't know how to do anything with our hands, so we couldn't make it. So we recruited one of our buddies, this kid Nick, who's really handy. He's a carpenter, a great guy, he's an engineer, and he was going to make it for us. And he was kind of like laissez-faire about the whole thing. Like, he wasn't too stressed. He figured he'd get it done. And like, the days were ticking on by. And Dave had to do a race that weekend out in Vegas, so he was gone. He'd signed up a while ago, to his credit. And so I was there, and I was like, Nick, dude, when are you going to finish this thing? And he wasn't worried, and then suddenly it was like 2 days before, and he hadn't even really started yet. And we just went into overdrive, and we built this magnificent booth with all these different panels, and we recruited our friends and did a photo shoot, and we printed out these life-size images of our friends wearing these Walmart samples. It looked pretty cool. But Nick wasn't finished, and so we like pulled this all-nighter, and we just went, like, it was like 48 hours straight of building this booth, and I was spray painting the panels down, and we were running late, so we didn't even finish the day of the trade show. We missed the first day, but we finished, and Nick, God bless him, didn't realize that he actually missed 2 of his finals. He was just in such overdrive, finishing this booth for us, such a good friend. He missed his finals, and luckily his professors let him retake the class next semester. So we get it together, we get it in the back of my car in St. Louis, and we drive this thing down to Austin, Texas. And we didn't give the panels enough time to dry from the spray paint, so we had to peel them apart, and the paint cracked everywhere. But we got the thing together, we got the booth, we got the samples there, we got the catalogs, and we actually landed our first 10 stores in the country that agreed to carry Janji, which is huge for us. We had this tiny little booth. There's like this massive booth from Brooks and Nike and Saucony, and then there's this little tent booth like the size of this area for us, but it was enough. So that was a huge win, and we learned a couple lessons, I think, that day. We learned, one, that you can do anything. If you set a good goal, you can get it done if you have good people around you. But 2, it's that progress isn't always linear. I think with running and with a lot of things that are going on in the political world right now, the social world, you don't always feel like you're making any progress, the direct progress that you want to make. And I think those 10 stores that agreed to carry Janji, all of them ended up just dropping us after that season because the stuff they ended up getting wasn't that good and it didn't do well. But I think all of those stores probably have since picked us back up, and they're happy with where we're at right now. And you just got to keep chugging on and keep making progress, even if you take a couple steps backwards, because that's just the way life works. Thank you.